When I spent the summer in the Netherlands, and people really liked going to saunas. Not me. I didn't go. They were always trying to get me to go to saunas.
Yeah, sauna's like your worst nightmare. You like things to be particularly cold all the time, right?
I like cold. I don't really like being naked in front of people I don't know. Here we are, and welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast, where I get together with my sisters once a week to be made fun of and hear about how their lives are going. We've got an awesome guest today. Sona is calling in from the Netherlands. She is a writer who covers television for the awesome website TV Series Hub, and so we're going to talk TV with her. And we're also going to talk Mother's Day, because today is, in fact, Mother's Day. And so before we get to chatting with Sona further, I just want to welcome my sisters. Becky, welcome on your first Mother's Day.
Thank you so much. And I want to say thanks to this whole gang, because I just found out over a lovely Mother's Day brunch that we're recording a little bit early this week so that you guys could accommodate the Mother's Day surprise that Vlad got for me. So thanks, gang. I really appreciate it.
That is right. We changed the time, and not only that, Lily convinces me to change.
We did a ruse. It was a ruse.
I know.
But the ruse...
I was like, Shy, you got to ask in the chat.
And so I ask in the chat, and then Lily immediately writes back, hold on, I got to check. And my answer is like, what the hell, Lily? I thought you told me to change.
And I'm like, play along, you dummy. Because if I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, Becky's like, something's up. Because changing it for an hour back for me, there's no way I'd be like, yeah, cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I had to like play along, like, oh, let me check. And then when Becky's like,
and then I was like, oh, sure. I have to check too. And then, but in my head, I'm like, what do I have to check for? I doubt Vlad planned anything. And I was like, I guess I'll check. You guys have to like remind me to check. Anyways, so I'm going straight from this to a massage. And I'm so excited. Or as I like to call it, a very expensive nap.
Yes.
That's awesome.
100%.
Well, Beck.
Doesn't matter how expensive they are.
That's right. Well, Becky, we love you, and we're so proud of you. And you actually, I mean, you had this baby in between podcast episodes. You did not miss a taping.
Well, I didn't miss a taping, but if anyone goes back and listens, I'm not really present.
We could say there in quotation marks.
There are
it was physically present, but my brain was in the toilet.
There are a lot of people who are still listening to your review of Valerian because of how long it was when you were really tired.
I don't think I said anything coherent.
Well, that reflects that movie. And now, Lily, you're on to your... Was it your second Mother's Day?
Third. Actually, sixth.
Sixth?
Yeah. I get two. It was Mother's Day last week.
Oh,
here.
Spain.
She gets... Like, how old is your kid?
So, like, real ones for me are the Spanish... Like, it's here. So, I would say three. I've had three. This is my third. But we celebrated last week, so sure, today could be it too, because I get nice congratulations from other people. So technically, there's like 6 of them already.
And and I think your answers and the way I even approach this question, we're going to get into this further, are really reflective of how we approach Mother's Day, because we basically ignored the other 30 plus that we should have been celebrating for our mother in this conversation, because we're the worst.
Sure. I think our philosophy is that every day is Mother's Day. Like, we love and appreciate her so much. So.
No, but sorry, when is it an appropriate time to tell the little story about Mom from this week? Is now a good moment?
No, we'll get to it. I want to welcome Sona. So Sona, welcome from the Netherlands.
Yay! Thank you. I'm so glad to be on.
We're very excited to have you.
It's great to have you. It's great to have somebody who I think loves TV as much or more than us. And I just want to ask you a few questions about what you do. So you write for TV Series Hub. What exactly is that?
It started out 3 years ago. just as a simple blog with a few writers who would write stuff about TV, reviews, and also some articles sometimes. And it has grown a little bit now to over 40 or 50 writers, I think. And we try to cover as much TV as possible, obviously, but it's all on volunteer. Yeah, it's all volunteers actually who are writing, so it's not our actual jobs. So we try to do as much as possible, but obviously it's not like we can. It doesn't. Yeah, it cannot take over our lives. Let me say it like that. So I mean, we have actual jobs and school and stuff like that going on, but we all love TV a lot. The people who write there, and yeah, it's fun to do.
So, which shows do you cover for TV series?
Right now, it's only the Middle and the Goldbergs.
Oh, that's pretty fun, though.
Yep, it's great. And I've been doing the Middle, well, both actually, since I got there. So 3 years or 3 seasons now. And I also covered a little bit of Last Man on Earth and Speechless as well.
Oh, that's a great show.
So, yeah. So it's mostly comedies. I watch a lot of comedies.
And all of these shows, are most of the shows American? Because you're European. Are all the writers in Europe?
Most of them are in America, as far as I know. But there are a few others from Europe or Asia or whatever, everywhere actually.
Do you ever?
The person who started it is from Mozambique, so.
Wow.
Do you ever worldwide?
Do you ever want to make the American writers watch Dutch comedies?
No.
It's a hard no.
No, we just had a new show come on, and that is actually pretty funny. But yeah, most shows are like the American shows. We had a Dutch version of Everybody Loves Raymond, a Dutch version of Cheers, stuff like that. And it never works.
I am intrigued.
Who does everybody love in Dutch? What's the guy's name?
Jack.
Oh, okay.
Not Sven or something? Like, shouldn't it be more of a Dutch?
Jack maybe, but no, they decided to go with Jack. I don't know why.
Oh, all right.
What's like a typical Dutch name? Like a what would be like a Jack in the United States?
I think Jan.
Everybody loves Jan. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly, that would work.
All right.
Or, yeah,
so funny.
Yeah.
Lily, what would it be in Spain? Is there an Everybody Loves Raymond in Spain?
Everybody loves Jose. Obviously, you're like.
I want to watch. I want to watch your show. I want to watch a show about your husband, Jose.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's like a very common name.
So now, so thank you so much for being here. And it's so cool to have an international television writer here with us. And now this is the part in the show where I say, Lily, Becky, Shy, how are you doing?
Shy, how are you doing?
I was like, didn't you ask us already how we're doing? We answered.
My sisters never remember to ask me how I'm doing. So I had a...
Because you have such a radio voice that I don't even think it's you. It's like a host that's hosting this show. And I'm like, I don't know that guy. I'm not going to ask him how he's doing. That's fine.
So Shy, how are you doing?
So thank you, Becky. So first of all, I had a huge, amazing week with my dear musical life partner, Howie Kislowitz. We launched our EP from our band, What Does It Eat? That is the same band that makes the theme music of this podcast. And it is called Shoulders, and it is a really deeply personal collection of songs. It deals a lot with parenthood. Both Becky and Lily are, in a sense, subjects of songs. There's one song that tells the story of Lily meeting her husband, and there's another song that talks about the birth of Becky's daughter, Miriam. And so, and then there's a bunch of other cool, I think, stories in there too, including a long, complicated story about how our band once beat Arcade Fire. For real, we once beat Arcade Fire in a battle of the bands. It did actually kind of happen. Anyway, so there's a song about that as well. And so I'm really excited that it is out there. People can check that out at whatdoesiteat.com.
It's amazing.
And thank you. And because we're not doing physical CDs this time, we are doing like we're doing an Indiegogo campaign where people can buy the digital music, but they can also spend a little bit more and get some other cool experiential elements to the music. And one of the things I created is a series of digital paintings that we're going to do limited run prints of, and each painting matches up with a different song or element of the record. So if people are interested in that, in some of my pancake for table art, you can do that as well. And so anyways, so that was really exciting, and there have been
very exciting.
Really, congratulations, Jai, on the launch of this. Super fun.
And thank you for your support, my sisters. Then the other thing that happened this weekend in general was the celebration of Mother's Day. And we started celebrating Mother's Day yesterday with Allie. And one of the ways we celebrated was by me just agreeing to do whatever Allie wants to do over this weekend. And one of the things she wanted to do was go and check out bathroom fixtures for our house renovation that's going on right now. And so we went and we met with this very nice guy named Najib, very patient, and he showed us all sorts of different handles and knobs and spouts. And then we got into an in-depth conversation about toilets and toilet seats. Now, I'm not going to get graphic, but especially when you are a father of two, the bathroom and the toilet are pretty much the last safe space in your entire universe. The only other time that I have that I know I won't be disturbed is actually when I'm on this podcast. And
which you might be doing in the bathroom.
Right, no. Exactly. So when we got into the conversation about toilet seats, which I did not know was going to be so complicated, I went full Groomzilla on this guy. I was sitting down on the different seats. Now, imagine, this is in a giant showroom, right? So there's tons of people walking around. I'm balancing cheeks on each side of the seat.
As one should. Is no one else doing that but you?
And then I kept challenging
I think
him.
other people are being a little more discreet.
Like I kept challenging him, being like, I don't like the cheek spread on this one. Could we see another seat?
Did you pull down your pants?
No, I did not pull down my pants, which made it really hard.
You thought about it.
The pants.
You had to visualize.
Because it wasn't it was as accurate as I could get in pants, but even then, again, the cheeks are constrained.
It should be a private showroom.
Right,
this kind of object.
And they should be able to spray down the seats so that you can get real skin to seat testing. So we all went with that, and they had some seats that I thought were way too sloped, and I told him, I lifted my legs up, and I fell right down into the seat with my legs kind of poking up, and I said, I can't use this. Anyway,
I mean, I don't know why you're lifting your legs on the toilet, but that's
well, no, I was trying to show him. He was saying this seat is fine, and I was telling him, no, this seat's not fine. It's sloped inwards. I said, it's sloped inwards. If I lift my feet up, I'm going to slide in.
Why are you lifting your feet up?
That's what I keep saying. Right? It's apparently not. It's
what he's saying is it's fine, and you're like, only if I don't lift my feet up. And then what he's saying is, why are you lifting your feet up?
Lift your feet up.
So therefore, it's fine.
He was very patient. Anyway,
and then he did a huge eye roll that I can just imagine.
No. He kept a poker face. Like, every time I pushed it far with this guy, and he kept a straight face the whole time. Now, while all this is happening, my two daughters are running through this massive multi-room show area, hiding in the bathtubs, running in and out of cabinets, and at one point they go into a big glass shower, and they slide in and they sit down and they start being very cute and they start reading a book together, and they asked me to close the shower in so it could be a fort. So I slide the glass door over, and then a couple minutes later, I hear them banging on the glass because somehow it got stuck. And the two of them were stuck inside this giant glass shower.
Inside the shower?
And I was trying to pull it open. And I had
Don't tell me you broke the glass shower.
I did not, but I thought no, there was two options. I thought it was going to break or fall over on them. And so but I was afraid to tell anybody in the store. Eventually I dislodged it and I got them out and saved them. So that was how I spent
Saved them.
You're a hero.
Yes.
Hero.
Sona, you figured out how to play along. So I appreciate it. You have.
And I like her delivery.
Yes.
I really like the delivery there.
So here we are on Mother's Day, a day in which my sisters and I are notorious for doing a terrible job celebrating the holiday.
Oh,
And since I am
so bad.
and since I am surrounded by 3 TV gurus, we're going to play one of our classic after 32 episodes. Can we say something's classic? One of our classic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fair enough.
Absolutely.
Our classic Friday night movie games by Rent Me with TV mothers. Now we'll probably revisit this because there's so many options. But again, we'll do a few rounds of it. So by Rent Me, we're going to go with 80s queens, right? 80s, iconic 80s mothers. So number one.
Sorry.
You okay
My
there?
computer. Yeah, fine. Sorry.
So number one, Elise Keaton, who is the mom on Family Ties, played by Meredith Baxter Birney. We have Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show, played by Felicia Rashad. And then we have Maggie Malone Seaver, played by Joanna Kearns, on Growing Pains. And I'll just note that I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding a certain individual from The Cosby Show, but when you're talking about
But I
80s,
feel like, yeah.
80s TV's
yeah.
moms,
No.
you cannot.
I feel like this can live Claire can live separate from this.
Right, right.
It wasn't not Claire's Huxtable's fault.
So
we can acknowledge and then move on from that specific.
Exactly. Sona, well, since this is your first time playing, I will have one of my sisters go first. And which one of them? I don't know which one wants to go first, though. Lily, Becky?
I could go first, but if Becky wants to, that's cool too.
No, you go first.
Okay, so Claire, obviously I'm going to buy her because she was amazing. She was like a high-powered lawyer and worked and was just like a badass and like super, like I feel like really strict. And as a mom character, I remember being so impressed by her as a kid. And I'm sure so many, I feel like that's like an obvious thing, you know, like other people too, of our age at least, who were like watching the show. So I have to buy Claire Huxtable. And then I'm going to go with, I'll rent Elise Keaton because I distinctly remember, like I haven't done any like research on this at all. This is going just for my like TV show kid memories. I remember her like is this true? She went back to school, right? During the whole series? Like the character?
I have no idea. That? That's way too much details.
I remember her being like such an awesome mom and all that kind of stuff, and like the straight man maybe to the dad. Michael
Gross's character. Michael Gross. I don't remember the actor.
Kind of like just sort of like he was like a bit more like goofy and stuff, and I don't know. I felt like that was like a very realistic role that she was playing. And then I want to say that she ends up going like back to school or something, and kind of like stepping out of her mom role or like 80s mom role in the show. I'll have to now research it because I'm not sure if it's true, but I remember distinctly being also impressed with her. And it's not like I'm not impressed with Maggie Malone Seaver,
who was also a professional.
Who also worked. Yeah, who's also professional. It's in no way, shape, or form. And I think even Elise Keaton wasn't a professional and then became one. I'm not sure how that goes. But I don't have as much of an attachment to Maggie Malone Seaver. I'm like, I love Growing Pains. Probably Growing Pains is my favorite of the 3 of those shows. But, like, I don't know. In my mind, she's, to me, when I think of Growing Pains, I honestly think of Alan Thicke. Okay. And the rest of the cast. So I'm going to met her just because I literally like can't even think of like an episode that I highly enjoy with like her. I'm like, oh, she made the episode. So I'll met her. Okay, sorry, cool. Maggie.
All right. Sona, you want to give it a try?
I can give it a try, but of those 3 shows, I've only watched 1, so...
Well, let's be clear. It's not because you're out of touch. It's because we are so much older than you. You are, like, a cool, hip, young person, and we are basically grandparents by comparison.
I'm trying to be. I'm not, though. I tried, but I'm not. But no, of those 3 shows, the only one I watched was The Cosby Show. And I actually really, really loved that one, and I watched it a lot. until all the shit came out with what's his name, Bill.
Bill.
But Claire as a mom, she was amazing. She had a certain power over her when she just walked into the room, and
For sure, yeah.
yeah, I don't know, it was just she's a great mom. So I would buy her, but with the other two, I can't say really. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Becky, you don't have to answer all of them.
Yeah, I guess I agree with everyone. I agree with everyone. I feel like Claire had the biggest personality, so that's why she made the biggest impact. And then for me, I would say Maggie over Elise, simply because I watched a lot more Growing Pains. That show came out, I feel like a little bit later, so I was a little bit older maybe, or it was on reruns. So I have more of a relationship to Maggie than I do to Elise. So that would just be my rent over meh. But it's pretty much a toss-up.
Yeah.
Also, my renting Elise might be, as I just pulled up like a picture of Family Ties, might be because I thought she was so pretty when I was a kid. And then now that I'm looking at that
really
picture, I'm like, wait a second. Is it because she's sticking in my memory because she was just so pretty? So sadly, might be the real reason.
So I'll agree with Lily. Claire Huxtable, just always going to be a heroic character for me. That look in her eye, whether she was a parent or an attorney, when she gave that look when she was right and she was, being the boss, was just amazing. I will rent Elise because I always enjoyed the humor of her raising a child so wildly different from her, and Alex P. Keaton. And then,
Right.
I mean, right. I like Growing Pains, but I'm not a big Growing Pains fan, so I'm fine with Maggie being my meh. All right, now to our next category. Disney animal moms that got murdered or endured horrific hardship.
I cannot play this round.
Why? It's funny.
I'm maying all of them.
It's about moms that die. I'm not playing.
No,
I'm maying all of them.
They don't
I
all
can't
die.
play this.
This is
Only
the
one
most insensitive round you could pick.
Only one of them died.
When was the last time you saw Dumbo?
No,
Tell me the last time you saw Dumbo.
I won't watch Dumbo.
I'm maying all of them.
I literally cannot watch the part.
Character.
I cannot watch the part where she's holding her little baby in her ears. I feel like this is not a fair round. I'm not playing it. I'm being this round.
He's boycotting it.
We often Sona, you should know, we often refer to our mother as the Jewish Cuban Beverly Goldberg. And I realize now how she's always trying to get us to watch Dumbo, like today. She often tells me, she's like, you love Dumbo, you love Dumbo. I don't remember like Dumbo. But now I realize she probably just made us watch it, particularly me, over and over again, just to be afraid of her being taken away. And
yes, exactly. And we are not playing this round. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
Well,
I'll just mad Dumbo because
Dumbo is the saddest. I feel like Dumbo, terms of the Disney animal moms,
sounds like you're
the
playing.
Dumbo mom,
You're playing.
The way she cuddles her baby with her giant ears is.
She needed to bust out of that cage and go get her baby back. I can't with that movie. I can't. And Bambi, she got shot. That is not.
So you're victim blaming right now.
Oh, hang on.
You're telling me you're victim
everybody.
blaming Dumbo's mom.
Sorry, this is a very controversial. We need to move on.
Wait, Sona, do you have thoughts? Maybe.
Yeah, no, the Bambi one I would buy because that one had the biggest impact on me as a kid, I think.
That makes sense.
And the other two, I don't know, maybe a little impartial on those two. Yeah, it's difficult, very difficult.
Well, I'm buying Sarabi
gets shot.
because she's awesome.
Oh yeah, poor Sarabi that she had to be a slave to Scar after. I mean, this is seriously messed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on.
Honestly, if you really think about these mothers, if we go down that road, one is shot, one is baby's kidnapped, and the other one's probably a sex slave.
Yeah, basically.
Disney's the worst.
I feel like this is just a very inappropriate, controversial round. We should. And Bill Cosby was in the previous round,
Right.
so we need to move on.
Okay. Look, we promise on this show nothing timely or important. So
Right.
we got a little bit serious.
Because there's too many Me Too things happening in the Disney round.
Okay, so now let's go with current TV moms. Okay, and I've made it as hard as possible. This is, we've got here Beverly Goldberg, as played by Wendy McClendon Covey. Jen on Life in Pieces, as played by Zoe Lister-Jones. and Rainbow
my
on
God.
Blackish, as played by, oh my God.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Tracy Ellis Ross. Oh my God.
Ellis Ross.
Who
Her
I met,
not
who I
that she's
met once.
listening to this. Did you? Not that she's listening, but I love her Instagram feed. I don't know if you guys follow her.
Yeah, she's fabulous.
She's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's so great.
Yeah.
So, anyone want to go first?
This is really hard.
I don't
Bevy,
think
Bo, Jen. Done.
And I've been going through a huge Life in Pieces binge watch right now, and there's so much about Jen I just respect and connect with.
Yeah, she's a badass.
She is, and I like how. Okay, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's just buy Bevy and rent both Bo and Jen because it's too difficult. I like how Jen on the show does she's very subtle. Like it's not obvious, whereas like Bo is like the opposite, like a powerhouse. Yeah, those are all amazing. TV
I really love the character of Jen because she's so, I don't know, sarcastic, and I love that kind of humor.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And like when she's with the family and everything, it's crazy. That show is great though. But I think I'd buy Beverly. And yes, this is so difficult. Yeah. I want to rent both.
Yep. I like breaking the rules of this game. Shy doesn't like it when I do that.
Shy, if you don't believe in breaking the rules, then you decide.
Oh,
Tell us your
You
buy
sacrificed one of those
So-
TV.
Yeah.
So first of all, if I was ever going to break the rules, this is the one because
This is the one.
I think all three of those characters are perfect and the actresses are perfect and their Instagram feeds are all amazing. So on every metric we've talked about, none of which like really matters in the real world, I love all of these people. If I had to do it, I'd do it this way. Buy Bevy because she's the greatest. Again, she's someone, that character brings people together. Like Sona, part of why Sona's here right now and we have like made friends across the internet world is because of how great that character is. Would you agree, Sona?
Well,
I agree, yeah.
Can I interrupt there for 1 second? I wanted to ask, what the hell? I'm so sorry, guys. Did you hear that, or is it just me who hears it?
What?
Nope.
Oh, you guys didn't hear it? It's like a weird Spanish commercial that keeps popping up. I hear it in my headphones. That's why I keep every once in a while going, sorry, guys, because I keep hearing it.
No. You're just doing things. Okay, so there's number one.
No, wait. I wanted to ask, does it translate to, like, Bevy's such a specific, she's amazing, but to me, she's very specific. Does it translate to, like, Dutch mom culture?
No, not a lot actually. But
Okay.
I mean, there are obviously moms that can be like this, but the whole Jewish part of it is not really something that people here in the Netherlands have.
But you obviously relate to her and like her and, like, connect. So
I don't know. Yeah, she's just hilarious. I think she's great. That's why I don't know.
crosses international lines.
Yeah,
Which I think is fascinating because I don't know. She would probably be huge because, like, I could see a Spanish mom thing in there, like the overbearing mom and stuff like that. The show's not on here, but I just think
It is on here actually.
which I think is really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-
Truly
I
wise.
I don't know. I don't think a lot of people watch it though because nobody I know watches it. I tried to get people to it never happens.
So it's just you.
So, but I think you're keying on something really interesting, which is, I mean, what makes the Goldbergs so special, I think, is that I started watching it, and I thought someone just made a show for me about my life. And I'm like, well, this is amazing. I don't know who the hell else is going to find it funny. And then I talk to people from totally different backgrounds and cultures, and they love it just because it's amazing, right? And so there's this part in which it's amazing and it's funny, and then there's the part in which where it also reminds me of my actual life that's going on. Anyways,
Right.
It's awesome. So then I will rent Jen. The reason why I'll rent Jen is because Life in Pieces is kind of a new, exciting show in our lives. We just stumbled on it because of one of our previous guests, Jacqui Kaplan. Congratulations, by the way. They got picked up for a 4th show to Jacqui
Amazing.
and
Really great.
all of the other people who work on that show. And Jen's a character who snuck up on me because at first I wasn't sure what to make of her, but so much of what she jokes about and is just feels so real to me and cracks me up. So I feel like Jen is someone I want to be friends with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I want to be friends. I want to be friends with Zoe Lister-Jones too.
Yes.
Probably not going to happen.
Agreed.
But Jen could easily be one of my friends. And I think Rainbow is amazing, and I love Tracy Ellis Ross, the only one of the people I actually had a chance to meet, and she was amazingly cool. But I just kind of stopped watching Blackish a little while ago. I just sort of like lost my rhythm with the show, and so I'm just not up on it. So I would give that my meh, not because I don't love the character or love the show, but because I just lost my rhythm with the show. And so I'm kind of out of touch with it. So it's not an aggressive, angry meh. It's more of it's like old friends. We lost touch. We're not that tight right now. You know, the other two are kind of more present in my life, so I'm not voting them off the island. Right. Oh, okay. Now on to a game that I've been waiting to play, which is Lily. Can you say it correctly? Cast away. How do we say it?
Cast away.
Cast away.
Isn't it cast away? Isn't it cast away?
Away.
Yeah, so this is where we cast something. It might be a show. It might be...
cast away. Like, go ahead. Like, cast away.
Or you mean it more like cast away?
Like cast away, cast away. So our mother and who we would play her or actors that remind us of her is a very common theme in our family. So we are going to cast our mother. And Sona, we also love to know who you would cast your mother as.
I'm just
who you would cast to play your mother.
So Shai, as we think about who we would cast our mother, can I now tell the story while we're thinking for a moment about the invitation we got from Mom this week? Just in case people are just catching up with who our mom is. Can I tell it now?
Yeah, who is our inspiration on so many levels.
Yeah. Our inspiration so much. I love her so much. It's where I get my joie de vivre and so, everything that is special about us certainly comes from her.
Thanks, Dad.
Now
I just leave Dad out entirely?
But he's gonna mind.
Any organizational skills we have come from Dad, let's be honest.
But
one flaw.
There's no way Dad knows how to find the podcast on his phone. That giant Samsung phone with 1 million apps, like I can't find anything on that phone.
Wait, so our mother she's always been a great, she's always been she's an enthusiastic person, and she's planned the best birthday parties for us. I mean, our entire lives, right? When we were kids, we had the coolest, best birthday parties. She always planned them. She loves birthdays. And I think she's been getting a little bit nervous, based, of course, on our track record for being terrible children and not actually planning anything or getting her presents. She's been a little bit nervous we're going to forget her birthday this year. She's turning 65 in November. She's brought it up a couple of times to me, like, oh, it's my 65th birthday. We're going to do something special. And I'm like, we'll see. And then this week, we all received a Google Calendar invite.
Like, how sad is it that she had to Google Calendar invite her own children to her 65th birthday party?
No, not the party.
This is not a party.
No, like whatever, her 65th birthday day.
This is not an invitation to a party or a trip or an event. Just to remind us that her birthday will be coming up in November 13th, and we should put a reminder in our calendars so we're not terrible children that we remember to buy her something.
In fairness, this may be caused by me because she and I were having a conversation about something else, and I asked her to send me I asked her to send me a calendar invite, and she goes, "I've shared my calendar with you." I'm like, "No, Mom, I don't want you to share your calendar with me. Just send me an invite so I can put it on my calendar. If you share your calendar with me, I'll end up with Lily's calendar, which now, by the way, not only advises me of her meetings with all of Esteban and her manicurist and bikini waxer, but Mom is now getting those invitations as well in her email.
Mom called me the other day. She was like, "Why did Shai send me an invitation to our double petty next week when I'm in Spain?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Shai invited me to the pedicure." And I was like, "Oh, Mom, I can't even go there. I don't know." Maybe he's laughing at me, and that's why he did it.
Who would we cast?
Okay, so all right, so
I didn't even know we were playing this game. I'm
gonna take certain actors off the table because, for example, Noreen Virgin, who played Jodie on today's special, who is probably one of the women we most associated reminding us of Mom. And by the way, I showed my kids a video of that. I showed them some clips of that show and watched a few episodes, and they 100%. When I said, does she remind you of Bubba? And they said, yeah, because she's wearing pink. And so...
It's hilarious.
So she's off the table. You can't use her. You got to use...
Are we going by the way people look or by
No, I was going by her personality.
I'm going by who could play her. I have one in my mind.
Okay, well...
I do too.
Oh, okay. Well, then you guys
Of
should have
our
to go
mom
first.
or of your mom?
Of my mom.
Oh.
Okay.
Great
So
question.
just double checking. Just double checking.
Okay, so Sona, you go first.
Well, I mean,
Well, tell us about your mom.
you all watch The Middle now, right?
Yes, yes.
So I would actually say Patricia Heaton as my mom because
nice.
the way she plays Frankie, in so many ways, I relate to that. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
I see my mom do something, I'm like, oh yeah. I start laughing, and she's like, oh, The Middle, and yeah, that's it. She's never
That's so
watched
cute. Can you give us an example?
Cool. Oh, that's difficult. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Okay, you think about it because
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
That's a cool one. You know,
Yeah.
I was not familiar with Patricia Heaton because I didn't really watch Everybody Loves Raymond, but I now understand why she is sort of an iconic TV actor now that I watch The Middle. Anyways, all right,
You can watch it in Holland and in the U.S. if you wanted to.
Right.
Everybody loves Raymond. I mean,
or Jack or Jan.
Right.
Everybody
That's
loves
true.
it. Okay, so
right?
I'll start with casting our mother. For some reason, in thinking about this, I think of the great actress Mercedes Ruehl, who can be both hilarious.
that's so annoying because that's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's what I was gonna say too.
I mean, they look exactly the same,
They
and
do
they
look-
had the same hair for a while.
Especially
Hence, if you guys
the hair
do
in Married to the
Mob.
Mob. We said it at the same time.
I beat you to it. Yeah. I beat you by a second because I was clearly gonna go. Mercedes Ruehl in Married to the Mob. That's the version of her that would Mom have to play.
But
Mom.
Mom doesn't pull guns on people and stuff like that. But just the
No,
big hair.
but it's the look. It's like the aesthetic of the hair.
But also because Mom really loves her, and Mom also uses her Spanish accent at really random times, and I could just see her calling Mercedes Ruehl Mercedes. Mercedes.
Yes.
So Becca,
sure.
do you have one? Because Lily and I picked the same one for the exact same reason.
I know. Hey, obviously I agree. Yours is the top choice, but I go back to very specifically Goldie Hawn in Snatched. To me, that would
that's
be
amazing.
traveling with our mother.
If that character played
Like
Mom
if that
in another movie.
character, that would be the equivalent of doing that kind of trip with Mom. So
That's
I just
amazing.
think about that.
So
Also,
have you
you
seen?
remember, our favorite joke, welcome, from the movie, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to, for ages, I've been trying to remember, because when I was in Laos with Mom, we had a very similar experience, but I couldn't remember what it was that the guy said. But we basically walked into a hotel and we were given each, as we're checking in, this drink, like a cold drink, and it's bright blue, and we're drinking it, and we're like, what are we drinking? And the guy goes, oh, it's butterfly pea. And Mom literally sprayed her drink. We're like, it took us a while. Butterfly pea is an actual type of pea or something. It's not the pea of a butterfly.
It's confusing though.
It took us a lot of discussion to figure out that we both thought we were drinking the pea of a butterfly.
That is amazing.
That's amazing, Becky. I cannot believe you've been saving that nugget for years.
I couldn't remember the butterfly pea part, so it wasn't funny until I remembered that.
All right, so I'll that's great. All right, so now we dance a little bit around the middle, but we do have someone who covers the show, and so we're going to talk about a specific Mother's Day episode that I've now watched 10 times. But in general, Sona, what do you love about the middle? What have been some of your observations over covering this show that make it fun to cover? Because again, you said it's a volunteer job.
Yeah. Well, there are a couple things. First, I already mentioned it before. It's relatable. I mean, there are so many situations and things that you can just look at your own family and think, "Yep, that makes sense." And it's I think it happens in a lot of families. Well, you are only in season 2 now, but when the kids grow up and everybody gets older, and you see so much character development that is just amazing and misses on a lot of other shows. So I think that is very good as well, especially with the kids growing up and going to college and stuff like that. They just handled that very well, I think, the writers. So that's cool. And another big part of my love for the show is that they always call back to other episodes, earlier episodes.
Oh, cool. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. Right.
Like their continuity, it's so amazing. So I started writing them down per season. So I did season 6, 7, 8, and well, now on season 9, doing that on season 9, writing down like episode specific things that happened in the episode and to which episode they call back. So that's what I've been doing. I'm a little bit obsessed with the show. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah. So that's another thing that I really, really enjoy.
So something that we talk about a lot here that I suffer from probably the most is post-TV show depression. When a show ends that I really love, particularly if it's one that I've watched a lot in a concentrated way, I'm inconsolable. The middle is ending, right? The last episode is coming next week?
There are 2 episodes left. So this Tuesday there's one, and then after that the finale.
So how do you feel? I mean, 9 years is a good run. A show can't go forever, but how is it going to feel when it's over?
I'm not sure I'm going to feel anything anymore after that. So I am going to be a mess, really. Yeah. I already, like when they had their last day of shooting, and sometimes when, like last week, there was a video coming out of the cast, a few interviews and about the final episodes, and I couldn't handle that well. So
it's like this show's your spirit animal, the way Goldbergs is Shy's spirit animal.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That's very sweet. Yeah, I don't know. It's
that's amazing too, because that show is so incredibly middle American, and here you are growing up in Europe, and it means so much to you. That is so cool.
I'm fascinated, like on a cultural studies level, about that. Fascinated.
Right. It is pretty interesting, but like I said, everybody can relate to this. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I think there are so many aspects of the show that are just relatable to people. And I think that's very important to have people like love your show when it's relatable. It helps a lot, I think.
That's very cool. All right, so now we're going to talk about a show early on, an episode early on, and this is Mother's Day 2. And Mother's Day 2, I watched with my kids. So I watched 2 sitcoms. I'll watch with my kids who are young. They're 6 and 4, but The Middle and The Goldbergs, both usually with a parent, so that because there's stuff that comes up that you want to explain sometimes. But The Middle in particular, they love, and I love watching with them. And we'll get up early and we'll make breakfast sometimes. Or it'll be when I'm making dinner, and we'll watch The Middle together, and we'll have like a little middle party, as we call it. And the Mother's Day 2 came on, and there's so much in this. So the premise of this episode, just for listeners, are that Mother's Day comes up, and at the last minute, the kids and the father, of course, have not been planning anything for Mother's Day. In fact, there's a great line when the son says, "How was I supposed to know Mother's Day was on a Sunday? I'm not a calendar." Which,
it's brilliant.
To me, like, so funny, because again, we love our mother, we worship her, but you could not have 3 kids who have, like, I think, forgotten and messed up Mother's Day things and birthdays more than us. And so for me, I was dying. But then it goes deeper. I connected as a dad, because their last minute idea is to leave her alone for the day, and they leave her alone for the day. And what does she do? is she gets wrapped up in doing all these housekeeping projects that grab her attention, which is 100% something my wife would do, which is I leave her for an entire day to like enjoy herself, and I come back and she's reorganized the kitchen. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know, I just started, another day went away. And then the kids go off with the dad and have fun doing something that they would never normally be willing to do, and they come back and report on how they had the greatest day ever.
And she has like the worst FOMO ever.
Yeah.
Which is fear of missing out, for those who don't know.
And so I watched. So I won't go further, and I won't ruin any other jokes. But but to me, that episode spoke to me on many levels.
Okay.
Becky, though, has warned me that she has controversy.
Here's the thing. The way you describe it, the premise of it, I agree. I'm watching it and I'm going, the premise of this episode is hilarious. This is 100% something that would happen. This is completely relatable. I even love the bit with like the youngest kids, like not really friend, but that kid he's forced to have play dates with that just like has to tag along the whole day. Like, I loved it. But when I was watching it, I wasn't laughing. I was just
Me neither.
Going, okay.
Me neither. I didn't really like it.
I was like, I get why it's funny, but I'm not laughing. And I felt I had, I just, that's how, that's the concept. I understand, but like the video you sent of your wife laughing
what part was she laughing at?
All of it.
I get that it's funny, but it wasn't like making me laugh.
The whole beginning, when the father asks the kids about their ideas for Mother's Day, and they start listing the things that the mother likes. They go, what does mom like? And they go, and their answers are taking us places,
doing my laundry.
Doing my laundry. She was dying. She was laughing so hard.
Okay, here's the thing. I feel like in my case, I don't like it because it's like #too soon. Like, it's too close to home. Now, I'm simultaneously watching a show that's very realistic on Netflix. I've let you know before. It's like, I've mentioned this, The Letdown, Netflix. It's amazing.
It's so funny in my mind.
And I have mixed feelings. What?
I was like, The Lift? What was it called? The Letdown. I forgot the name.
The Letdown. And so like, yes, in that sense, it's so realistic, and I laugh and like I cry and I'm like, oh my God, this episode for me was just like it was too much. Yes, I agree. There were some funny parts, like, with the kids and stuff and all that, but I literally yesterday had the day, like half the day to myself. I watched the episode today. Yesterday I had half the day to myself. And by the time my free alone time was over, I literally wanted to weep because I was like, I wasted it. And I was so sad. And then I didn't say that to anybody. I just swallowed my pride. And I was like, never admit to anyone that you did not take full advantage of this.
I guess the things that I had a hard time with in the episode were more like that I didn't find funny, or like I found in theory to be funny, but in execution just to be like a little bit like meh. It's like the daughter, the middle child. I think in theory her whole shtick with the gift shop is funny because I can remember being, whatever age that was, like probably 7th or 8th grade, and that being a really, I'm going to buy this giant pencil, I'm going to buy this sign that makes no sense, like things that's like that, funny. And so I get why it's funny, but then the execution of it, I was just like,
so
I'm not laughing.
That might be, I don't know how much of the middle you've watched yet, but that to me,
the only episode I've seen.
Oh, if that's the only episode you've seen, you have to watch more to understand the
Jeans episode will help explain her Sue.
The Sue Heck. So I was told by Sona and by our dear mutual friend Ashley from the Gold Nerds crew that Sue Heck is this like amazing character. And in the first couple episodes, I was like, okay, I'm waiting to find out why she's so amazing. But then she's one of those Leslie Knope-esque characters where as you get to know her, you realize
I love that comparison. Yeah.
Okay, well, in that case, I will watch more, and I will watch Jean's episode. Got it.
The Jean's episode is the episode
made me love her.
Is the episode that got me into the show. That's the episode that turned the corner for me. I didn't realize you had not seen the show before, because once you understand Sue, the whole notion of her going and trying to buy the perfect souvenir and screwing it up each time,
makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense. But also there's a great moment in this episode when the mother's yelling at the dad, and she says to him, "Fine, on Father's Day, I'll just leave you alone all day on Father's Day and do all these things with the kids." And he says, "Great." And I'm like, absolutely. Father's Day is 100% not a time for you to spend time with your kids.
In the first season, they had that episode as well, the Mother's Day episode, where she was comparing, like the mother was comparing Mother's Day to Father's Day. And yeah, you get a little bit of that as well. Like, he's all peaceful and it's all good and everything. Well,
right.
I don't know.
You're 100% right.
Right. It totally makes sense.
Even today in my own real life, I said, "Hey, Vlad, what do you want to do for Father's Day?" And he said, "I just want to go surfing." And I say, "You mean with like the whole family? We'll all go down to the beach together." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess if you want to come, you can." So,
well, it was so real for me at the end where she's like, I just it's hard, you understand about like feeling guilty, like you're guilty if you go, you're guilty if you don't go. And he's like, "No, I don't feel guilt like that." I was just like, ugh, too soon. It's just too much for me to handle. I was like, it's just so real. It was funny, but also hurtful.
So, Sona, as I understand it, there's a Mother's Day episode every season.
Not every season, I think. I'm not sure if there's one in season 3. There is one in season 4, yeah. So I know all the episodes by heart, so I can just go on and give you episode numbers and stuff, but I won't. So I think there's one in season 4, 6, 7, and 9. That one aired last week. That was the last one.
Ah, okay.
And I don't want to give you any spoilers, but they sort of maybe get it right a little bit now. So
that's good.
Okay. That's good to see. All right, character development. Character development is very big in this family.
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning they don't, but obviously as the episode progresses. But you'll see it when you get there. It will take you a while, but no worries.
All right, cool.
I won't give you.
Well, I'm very grateful that I have a lot of show left to watch here.
Right.
It makes me very happy, and the rewatch factor is amazing. I mean, my kids watched the episode where they reveal the real story behind Brick's birthday over and over and over again. They think that is the funniest.
That story comes back too.
Oh, that's amazing.
Later in the show.
Do they explain why his name is Brick?
Yes, in the first episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanted him to be really cool.
It's an interesting name, and then they grow up to be interesting people.
Got it.
Yeah, they wanted him to be really cool, so they gave him Cool and Tough, and they gave him Brick, and they ended up with this very sort of quirky kid.
Before we wrap it up, I just want to do a little insert here. We talked about how comparison to us as kids and as adults, because I love you, Mom, but we kind of just decided on her gift today on Mother's Day.
No, we decided a few days ago. We didn't decide it until today. That is not fair. I came up with that idea last week.
To be clear, dummies, I completely made it sound like we hadn't and called Mom and was like, "So, has your thing arrived yet?" And then later,
we came up with it like a week, we came up with it.
I can check the text
days ago, and I'm pretty sure it was my idea, and we came up with it at least 5 days ago. How far in advance are you supposed to plan Mother's Day?
Okay, here's the thing. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, we're kind of like all in this like crappy kid thing together. And then I look at my phone and I see our mother texting a gorgeous bouquet that her eldest child, her golden boy, and I sent to her, and I'm like, man, you play a dirty game, bro. Like, what would it have taken
so annoying.
For you to ask us to Venmo you or transfer you money and write our names on the card?
Yeah, no, Shai, I want you to know that minutes after she received that, you want to hear the text that I get from her minutes after she gets that? She writes me,
dirty game.
A call or FaceTime would be nice. That's all she writes me.
That sounds so Beverly Goldbergs.
Like, she literally sends everyone the picture of the flowers you sent, and then minutes later, a call or FaceTime would be nice.
Hold on a second.
Like, seriously, Shai? You totally did that behind our back, and you're already the favorite. You don't need to pile it on.
No.
What would I need to have given to get my name on that card? Yo?
First of all, we had a group gift idea. That's number one.
No. If you were sending flowers, then the group gift should have just been me and Lily, and I never needed to include you in the first place.
Right. then we could have taken credit for the gift. You played us.
And it was my idea, the gift. And since it came from your account, she thinks the gift is also from
100%.
you.
I'm
going to send a picture of the text.
We're not even her kids
came up
anymore.
with the idea.
No.
Try played us. Next year going down, bro.
No,
Going down.
Hold on a second. I can
Assuming we
explain the flowers are a separate guilt factor.
Nobody wants to hear your explanation.
The flowers.
Let's just go on. They know what the true you is like now.
I'll text Mom and tell her it's from you guys too. Let's be clear. One of you sent me a birthday gift one year that definitely didn't have the other one's name on it, and just called to tell me, be like, just pretend the other person's name was on it. I was supposed to put it on there. I'm not going to tell you.
That's me.
But
So-
you can't. No, it's too late.
Okay, so
It's
hold
too
on.
late.
Let me
We
just
look like
explain.
kids.
The reason why is that I had the kids do Mom's card like last week. I was super on top of it. And then on like Friday or Thursday, Allie says to me, "Hey, so you mailed your mother's card, right?" And I was like, "Oh, I knew I forgot something. At least I remembered the kids to do it this time." And so Allie had to FedEx
Doesn't
it to
count.
Mom to be
Doesn't
in
count.
time. So that's why I did the flowers. It was out of guilt of cards. All right, Sona, you've gotten a very...
All for one for all, Shy. That's how it's supposed to be.
I did not mean it at your expense. I honestly didn't think the flowers were going to be that such of a big deal.
Anyways, let's move on.
Anyways, all right. So now this is our section where we do recommendations and updates and things like that. And so Becky has a tradesy that...
Oh yeah, we have I'm gonna call him a fan of the show, even though I don't know how much listening he's been doing. So Edgy, who got a shout out last week, is, like I said, he has pre-ordered Black Panther and has arranged a home movie night for us to watch it, and he has proposed a tradesies. His tradesies is that if we watch and review Shrek 2, his favorite movie,
Which, by
Which
the
I
way,
think Shai
I
can
love,
speak
is
to.
the strongest of the Shrek franchise. Tell him I 100% agree. I've watched it. It's the only one I
I
have.
can tell
Sure,
you
I
say that.
agree.
I don't know how I feel because I don't recall. I mean, I know I've seen it, but I have to rewatch
No, I'm not
it.
sure I agree with this.
So his trades is that if we all watch and review Shrek 2, he will grace us with his presence, and he will discuss Black Panther with us. Now, the important thing to mention is that while the three of us are white Jewish kids from, Montreal, from Canada, Edgy is black, and he wants to be able to come on and speak to,
Yeah.
speak to the movie, obviously, from his perspective, but he's only willing to do so if we watch and review Shrek 2.
So I think we
That's
should just do
a very important. Like, I like how he's already playing the game even before being on the show. Being like, you guys.
So
I like it.
I think we do.
Give
We
him
have
credit.
upcoming then a Shrek 2 Black Panther episode.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
good combination.
Sounds amazing. That's such a mashup.
It's a weird combination.
And Edgy's 100% invited.
Okay.
All right, done. The tradesy has been blessed.
All right.
Okay.
It has been accepted.
I don't really have Rex because I just been watching The Letdown, so I don't have, and Cobra Kai obviously, which we'll have to do a whole other like finale episode.
We have to discuss the second half.
To do a
of the
finale
season.
episode because it's a whole thing.
That's a whole episode. That's a whole separate
That's a
episode.
whole episode.
Like, I have
Because I
so
have
much to
so
say.
much to talk about with that. Oh my
So,
god.
We'll get to that another day. But I have big news. Like, I don't know. I haven't looked at Twitter today. I don't know if you guys already know this. By the time this airs, our episode, people will for sure know. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine got picked up by NBC. It was
it
saved.
got canceled and then it got picked up by
Saved.
NBC. So it was like,
Yeah.
it was such a stressful few hours when
It's
when
been
we thought
saved,
it was
so
gonna
it's
be on
renewed
there.
for another season, but on NBC.
So
You
Sona,
know,
in covering
Good on that.
Sona, in covering television, do you follow the business aspects of television at all? Like,
What? With the renewals and cancellations and everything, I do follow along. It's a bit hard with the time difference sometimes, but I try to.
I hear
catch
you
up.
there.
Yeah.
so
So yeah, no, but I try to catch up on all the news.
But did you know that it was being renewed by NBC?
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah,
on
that
Twitter.
that came I think yesterday. But what do you think about it landing at NBC? I have some thoughts.
It's interesting that they actually picked it up I think it's been a while too that another broadcast network picked up a show that was canceled by. I mean, we also have Last Man Standing now, that was canceled by ABC last season and now comes back at Fox. But yeah, it's interesting. I think it's good though, because there are plenty of people who still watch the show, and the NBC comedies, they work well together with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think.
Yeah,
same creator.
I think so too. I think in some ways NBC is the natural home. I mean, what do I know about how things work? But Brooklyn Nine-Nine has in it the same DNA as Parks and Rec and The Good Place, which are these like really interesting characters that the more you get to know
But they're
them,
all the same creator as well.
yeah,
Mike
exactly.
Schur.
Mike Schur, exactly. And in some ways, Superstore, for some reason, I feel like is connected in a way too. Similar workplace comedy, and I feel like it's a natural home for it. And I felt like Fox was always moving Brooklyn Nine-Nine around all these different time slots, or it would disappear for weeks at a time and it would lose its momentum. But it's such a great show that I'm glad it's found a home. And wow, we were early adopters of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We were
on the bandwagon from season one.
Oh yeah, that's one of my happy place shows. I dose it out very carefully, worrying for like an Armageddon day, like the other day when they said it was canceled. So like I'm very cautious with it. Also though, I have to mention NBC. So it's filmed on the Universal Studio on the lot, and NBC originally sold it to Fox. Like, it's not that weird that it's coming back to NBC in that sense, because it was sort of like an NBC-produced show. Then they sold it to Fox, and they said that was like one of their biggest regrets, that they let it go.
Yeah,
so I think they've been kind of waiting for this moment.
I feel like they're really hitting their stride now, so...
Yeah, they've really. I mean, yeah, exactly. There's
done.
so much to do with the characters, so I hope it lasts for many seasons now. And again, it'll just feel at home with all those other shows. Although then I don't know what I'll be watching on Fox anymore.
I watched Last Man on Earth, but that one got canned as well.
Too bad. I'm a big Kristen Shaw fan. I'm a pretty big fan of hers.
It got renewed though, but that was obvious. Bob Burgers.
Bob Burgers, right.
Yeah.
Kristen Shaw is really, really funny, but she's funny in anything that she's in, so I know she'll be back.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Kristen Shaw, no matter what she is in, she is hilarious. And so you can put her in any show, in any role, and she's got... The place I first totally fell in love with her was watching Flight of the Conchords.
Conchords,
and if you guys have not seen season 1 of Flight of the Conchords, she is on another level. I mean, she's so amazing.
That you can tell, like, she doesn't need a specific show to be funny on.
She's so good.
Yeah, the first time I saw her was in the Modern Family episode where she's internet dating the little kid. Do you know what I'm talking about? That's the first time I ever saw her. Where it turns out he has like an internet girlfriend.
It's amazing.
Who also loves Twilight and shows up to the house to meet him, and it's her, and she finds out that she's been basically internet dating a little kid. What's that kid's name? Manny? Manny, yeah. I haven't watched that show in a long time.
That one.
I stopped watching that show after the second season. Okay, as far as shout-outs and recommendations and things, so exciting Goldbergs family news. Sona, you know Ashley, right? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashley and I have a long gestating idea where we have been planning to watch all of the episodes of Behind the Music, the TV musical biography show from the 90s, and then record that as a podcast. And we earlier this week recorded our first episode.
So exciting.
So
that is cool.
So,
what's the first Behind the Music?
Oh my
if you
God.
Don't mind telling
so the
us?
first episode that we the problem with it is that I didn't realize this, there are like 200 plus episodes of Behind the Music. Who the heck knew?
How did you not realize that?
Because I just...
It was on forever.
It was on
Guys,
for
real though, I have to leave in 5 minutes for my
okay.
massage. So let's tell the story quickly.
So the point is that The first episode, we're trying to go chronologically, and the first episode that we were able to get our hands on is the MC Hammer episode. So the first episode of Behind the Music, which is what it's called, which I'm not sure when it's actually going to post for the first time, probably in a week or two. We talk MC Hammer, but then we also do Fleetwood Mac and Andy Gibb in the same episode, because one thing we also realized is that some of these cannot do as a full, like I would not listen to anyone talk about Fleetwood Mac ever, and so those are just like little niblets at the end of the episode. But yes, the MC Hammer, the MC Hammer one was the perfect starting point. So that's coming soon. And then I just quick shout out to Pink Rabbit and Purple Dragon of the We Don't Know What We're Talking About podcast. They are just super people. I feel like if they lived near us, we'd all be buddies. And they gave us a big shout out on their podcast. And I really am enjoying this whole shout out thing with other people who are listening and creating. It's super fun. That's how we ended up with Sona as our guest as well.
Yeah, and I want to shout out to Pam Gurley from the Herspiration podcast. Her podcast is amazing, but I'm shouting out to her because her Instagram feed is just like blowing up. It's amazing. And I love her post about laughing so hard that she had to pull over while listening to our podcast. That made me beyond happy. Yeah, amazing.
And then of course a shout out to our cousin Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be a podcast without her.
And she's a mom, and it's Mother's Day.
Yeah, so. And cousin Vanessa has been collecting her favorite mom stories of our mom and her mom for one day when the mystery is revealed of who is cousin Vanessa.
There you go.
And she inevitably comes on
She
the show.
texted me a mom story about my own mom the other day that I didn't know. And I nearly
peed. We're going to
No, we'll save it. But I nearly peed my pants.
So hold on. One last thing. Aside from our own mom, who we have talked about a lot for Mother's Day, I need to give my last shout out for the most amazing mom, my wife Allie, who is incredible. She is raising two amazing daughters, and she keeps everything in our house together, and she's the greatest partner in life in the world. And so I love you, Allie, and happy Mother's Day. And also to my mother-in-law Barbara. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, and to my sister-in-law Mare. I guess so. I had three.
Okay, is there anyone else?
Well, no, they're family.
Love
Anyways.
you, Mare.
Okay.
When's Mother's Day in Holland?
Today, actually. So
Okay. So Spain can't get it together, but you guys can. That's great.
Yeah, obviously.
Any shout-outs from you, Sona?
Nah, not necessarily. Actually, I didn't even think about that. No.
You could tweet them out. Later.
Oh yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Benjamin Emil, who wrote a really nice review for us on iTunes. So thanks, Benjamin, for writing. What?
I said fun. That's
awesome. Thank you, Benjamin.
For writing
really
this awesome review.
That's really helpful.
It is helpful.
With that, Sona, where can people follow you on social media and TV Series Hub and find all your writings and things like that?
My Twitter handle is @seriesfreak12. The website is tvserieshub.tv or at TV Series Hub on Twitter. So that's, I think, the most important stuff for me, and everything is on there that I wrote. So
cool. And people should follow your writing and follow you on Twitter. You are one of those people who just loves TV the way we love it, and it makes it so much fun to watch shows and have a buddy even in different time zones to go back and forth with.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being a part of the show today. It was great to have you on.
It was awesome. I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was super fun to have you on.
Becky, where can people follow you?
Paper BK Princess. That's my Twitter handle. And check out some recipes at everydayoat.com for my alter ego, the recipe-loving ego. That's it.
All right.
For me.
And back.
I gotta run though. Bye.
Okay, bye. Lily, where can people follow you?
Chichi K Gomez on the Twitter.
Awesome. You can follow me at Pancake for Table. You can follow all of the Pancake multimedia shenanigans at pancakefortable.com. You can follow the podcast at FridayNightMoviePod.com. And please leave us a review. What kind of review, Lily?
Only a good one. 5 stars, please. Take nothing less.
on our page. It helps us get noticed. I've noticed we've actually been climbing in the little search engine stuff, which is really neat. Thanks.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
reviews.
this applies if you have nothing nice to say. Don't say anything at all. Applies to the iTunes review podcast thing.
But if you do, it's free and it's very helpful for us.
Yes.
And with that, we will kick in the theme music by What Does It Eat? The theme music isn't actually going to play right now, so it's just I have to edit it in later. But by What Does It Eat? And you have to dance in your chair. That is a requirement for the end of the show. So everyone's got to dance.
Okay. I'm glad I turned my camera off.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need visual evidence. We just need to know you're dancing.
Okay, I will be.
Thanks so much for doing the show, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks so much.
You too.
Thanks. Have a great week. Bye.
Do this in audio because you don't want to. You don't want.
I'm glad with that as well.
You don't want to see us.